But I think that's where that first round, the number 10 pick, really matters. If somehow we lose both Hargrave and Bradberry, well, now it's like that 10 pick, you can have some top flight tackles and top flight corners. And listen, I would probably still go corner. However, Howie Roseman loves D-line, O-line.
Right.
You end up losing both Fletch, because I think Fletch is gone just because, if anybody on the D-line that is old takes a pay cut, it's going to be like a BG. I don't see Fletch doing it at this point in the career. So if we lose Bradberry and Hargrave, I think it's a flip of a coin on who's there. And I do think that you're going to have one of the top three guys in Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., and Devin Weatherspoon there. And I think you're going to have one of these guys at D tackle, or at least somebody on the line, especially if we don't get BG back, that Howie's going to pull the trigger there. It is very shoots and ladders when it comes to Howie Roseman, because his aggressiveness and the fact that we do only have 6 picks. Maybe he wants to garner some more picks. I can see him go either way, but I do think D tackle and cornerback is the top of our list as it pertains to that 10th overall pick. I don't know what's going to happen with 30th.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I feel like with Fletcher Cox, Fletcher had such a good season last season. This is probably his last shot at some money before he does hit that, fall off a cliff when the age starts really catching up to him. So, yeah, I don't see Fletcher taking that team friendly, sticking around with the Birds deal after the season that he had. So I feel like we have more depth so in the event that we lose James and JAVON, which would be devastating, because I can't cope with losing JAVON Hargrave after this season. But in the terrible event, worst case scenario, we lose James and JAVON Hargrave, I do think we should logically draft a corner first to replace James Bradberry, because we have way more depth at defensive tackle, than we do at outside corner. That's the most logical thing to do. But again, Howie Roseman loves the darn trenches. And we saw last year in the draft, Jordan Davis exploded at the combine, right? Like, exploded. And then look what we do. Go and get Jordan Davis. I love Jordan Davis, but I honestly did not see that coming.
Yeah, it's a position that, you want Hargrave back, but he's at the top of a lot of people's list. If you're trying to rush the passer from the D tackle position, he's on your list. Speaking of some of the combine, not the actual measurables, but here's the list of the people that the Eagles met with at the combine. Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame, Antonio Johnson, the safety from Texas A&M, defensive lineman Dejon Johnson from Toledo, safety Brandon Joseph from Notre Dame, cornerback from Georgia, Kelee Ringo, a guy that I think that if we end up going D-line, this, that, and the third, he's going to be on our radar for, the second first-round pick, early second-round pick, trying to get a corner there, because I don't think we have luck drafting corners late in the round, a la Zach McPherson, taking a gamble on once upon a time first-round scouted talent in Sidney Jones, but the ACL tear. But let's go down the list a little more. Offensive lineman Osiris Terrence out of Florida, cornerback Garrett Williams out of Syracuse, defensive line Byron Young out of Alabama, who I think I like him a lot. Not with the top 10, but I do like Byron Young. And then also D-line Javon Dexter out of Florida. 2 corners on this list we met with. Both these guys were playing some good ball, suffered an injury, and now look to try to get back into the first round, but will be at the tail end of the first round. Garrett Wilson is a guy that I think could go before 30, because, he should be good for training camp, and he was doing his thing in Syracuse before the injury. But they're 2 guys that I will be looking at if the Eagles do go D-line. I'm looking at Ringo. I'm looking at Williams for that second pick. Going back to the combine, though, there were some impressive 40 times by these D linemen. I mean, I feel like these players get faster and faster and faster every year. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with the, the unofficial time and blah, blah, blah. But these, they eat their Wheaties. I don't know. Right. These kids are getting faster and faster. Defensive lineman out of Northwestern.
A day.
the double A. His name is like a Dawabi something. Y'all, you guys know. If you don't know how to pronounce it, you're in the same boat as I am. He ran a 4.54 out of Northwestern. That he's an interesting prospect. So far, his combine has looked pretty good. I mean, his measurables, again, they compared Milton Williams combine to Aaron Donald, and we know he's not Aaron Donald, but Milton Williams, I think every year so far, every couple games, you see more and more out of him. I expect him to be a key contributor at the D tackle position in the future, especially if we're talking about losing Hargrave and losing Fletch.
Right.
Milton Williams is going to have to step up, but Nolan Smith ran a beautiful 44.40. He's a linebacker / edge rusher. And then Calijah Kancey, I know people talk about his short arms, but he showed the burst. He has some flexibility, play inside, outside. He could do some things. So again, top 10 pick? No. But if we end up using that top 10 on a corner, which I think every Eagle fan is really hoping and praying for that, because we got a taste of a Bradberry Slay duo, right? Haven't seen that since Sheldon and Lito. I don't want to go back to having one guy and then a liability, a Rasul Douglas until he went to the Packers, type corner on the other side of whoever's good. So I do think you got to mold somebody, and let's not act like Darius Slay is going to be here forever. There's already rumors about trading him. I don't know where you stand on that. I'm not trading him this year. I'm trying to restructure him, but I got to keep him. I can't have a rookie corner and then trade Slay. You know what I mean? I need Slay here.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like James Bradberry is not coming back. We can't go into next season with two brand new corners on the outside. Nevontae Maddox, the one leading that charge, in the slot. No. Darius Slay, with the position that we're in, Darius Slay has to come back. Now, I hope Darius Slay does restructure his contract, shake a few dollars off so we can spend elsewhere. And that's, you hate to be in somebody's pockets because that's their money. But from what I've seen from Slay is a leader of this team, one of the leaders, one of the faces of this team. I feel like he would be one of the guys who would be willing to restructure their contract. And like you said, we need somebody who can help mentor whatever rookie we have coming in, help them come up, because week 1 to week 17, it ain't no joke, okay? We need somebody who has been there before and a veteran. And Darius Slay is that. Did he have the most consistent season? Did he have the most amazing season? No. But he has to be back on this team next year. And we have to go cornerback. It's just imperative. Like, it's imperative that we go corner. Now, how we might trade back and get us another second-round pick or get us another third-round pick. He might trade back 10 to 12, 13, 14, 15. Whatever pick we pick in first, it has to be best available corner. We have not been good at developing cornerbacks. We have to take one of these guys that's early, whether it's Christian Gonzalez, whether it's Joey Porter, Devin Witherspoon. We have to take one of those guys because we need someone who is ready day one or as close to ready as we can get, because I'm scared. The last couple of drafts, we have needed to go cornerback, bruh. We got James Bradberry at the buzzer. We were about to start last season with Zach McPherson.
I know. And then remember the season before that, we were talking about Steven Nelson at the buzzer too. So we've been low key grabbing a free agent to plug and play at the buzzer, talking about some August pickups. You're on the squad starting, and Steven Nelson didn't do nowhere near as good as James Bradberry.
No.
But that's why I agree with you. I think unless Jalen Carter falls to your lap, you know what I mean? Unless Jalen Carter falls with the, misdemeanors and blah, 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 what's going on, I think you got to go corner,
right?
Because we're in a situation where this is becoming a passing league. And guess what? Jonathan Gannon's system, you needed some corners. Because, first of all, you need a lot of things. And now Sean Desai, he's going to want to play coverage. So, yeah, playing coverage gives your corners help. But the reason their philosophy is giving corners help is because it's a passing league, and that's the way it's kind of trending. And so you need to have corners. You can never have too many corners. If offenses are talking about more wide receivers, the merrier. Well, then you got to match. You got to match that. If these quarterbacks are slinging the rock, two things stop the quarterback: the pass rush and cornerbacks. We've pretty good. We still got a foundation at the pass rush. We got to get corner, and that brings me to a guy like Calijah Kancey then. With his combine so far, I mean, he has, again, his profile's looking Aaron Donald-ish and Ed Oliver-ish. And again, that don't mean they're going to be able to play that way on the field. But with his 40, his ability to be versatile, I'm thinking you look at him to that 30th pick early in the second round. So if we do not get the opportunity to draft Jalen Carter, which I still think some teams are going to say, who cares? I don't see him fully getting a 10. Especially the more that's going to come out by the time the draft comes. I think he's going to clear himself up. He feels confident in it. He already got back to the draft after going to Georgia.
He that up quick fast, okay? Quick fast, shoot. Whoever his lawyer is was ready.
I needed him back in 2000. No, I'm just kidding. But so I can see us doing something like that where we go corner early, and then you're looking at one of these guys like Calijah Kancey, who jumped on my radar after today. And again, I still want to see what free agency brings us, because there's a scary scenario where BRADBERRY gone and HARGRAVE gone. So that will allow Howie to say the best guy available. Is it a D tackle? Is it a corner? Got to get one. But I think whoever you don't get at 10, you got to go for around 30. Mm-hmm. So I'm going either in a perfect world. In a perfect world, you go get your corner at 10, and then you get somebody at 30, a little, maybe move up, maybe move back. And again, Kalijah Mitchell's jumping onto my radar with this combine. Mm-hmm. But his play at Pitt matches too, though, because that's the one thing you don't want to do. Just draft off a combine. The combine is supposed to mirror what you see on film. You know what I mean? The film is what matters the most. But it's supposed to be a cosign. I see, he really does got that speed. I seen it against blah, blah, blah. And so short hands don't bother me, especially if you're versatile and you can move the way he does. So,
yeah, I like Calijah Kancey. I know they're saying he's a little bit undersized, but I feel like JAVON was a little bit undersized. I don't think, and we got a big wide load in Jordan. Jordan taking up all that space.
Jordan 1.5.
Exactly. We got that big load with Jordan. I don't mind taking someone a little bit undersized. And if we're going to have somebody that we want kind of in that same mode as Javon Hargrave, say Javon Hargrave slips, that speed and that athleticism and Javon being a little bit more lean is why he maybe was able to be so effective getting to the quarterback. And that could be Calijah Kancey. He went to Pitt from the area, already local. And I saw before the draft some mocks, and them mocks, it could go a million different ways, but I saw a couple of mocks having Calijah go to us with that 30th overall pick. So if it is a scenario where we do, I feel like there's so many good defensive tackles that's like in the bottom half of the first round that we can get. I feel like we're gonna be good. There's so many guys, Miles Murphy, Javon Dexter out of Florida, SIAKI Ika, even though he's a big one. I don't want two big dudes like Jordan Davis, because we need somebody who got some stamina to stay out there. But there's a lot of good guys in the second half, in the bottom half of the first round of defensive tackle, but that's not the same for cornerback. So shoot, I'm just feeling like we have to go corner with whatever, unless Jalen Carter falls. If Jalen Carter falls, that's the only situation where I'm flipping the script. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And like I was saying earlier in my own video, Jalen Carter has a misdemeanor. It's not going to be anything that's going to take any longer than a few hours, some community service, some online volunteering or whatever to clear up. And that does not concern me. I'm saying dudes is committing crimes right now that are on NFL roster. Dudes is committing crimes all day long. And I'm saying we can't act like the dude is young. Like he's 20 years old?
Yeah,
Everybody
21. Yeah.
It's a lapse of judgment. I'm not attacking his full-on character for a lapse of judgment. I've done stuff at 20. Shoot, I'm doing stuff now.
She's like, shh. And listen, I'm still on the Eagles YouTube roster.